I am sweating already. Woo! We are going to be talking about stress and dealing with stress and relaxing and all of that good stuff today. Way back when I first started my channel, I jumped on Instagram and I asked you guys what you wanted to see from me, and someone actually said they wanted a video on dealing with stress, so here she is months later. I've also been having a lot of friends, a lot of family members that are going through some really stressful times and a lot of anxiety and all this stuff, so I just wanted to come on here and give my 2 cents on tips for relaxation and ways to change your mindset when it comes to stressful situations. So let's go ahead and get on started, shall we? Most of the things that I'm going to be talking about here have to do with time sensitivity or stress that relates to exams or projects that are coming up or big interviews or things that you need to get done that causes a huge spike in your stress level. So let's go ahead and get started so that you can be as prepared as possible when stress inevitably comes and bites you in the ass. Okay? First things first, let's talk about relaxation. Imagine your day is split into 2 parts, times of stress and times of relaxation. Your times of relaxation can also be split into 2 parts, the times where you actually set aside time for breaks and when you're sleeping. When you set aside time for breaks, which you should be doing because if you don't, you're just gonna burn out immediately and not get anything done. So make sure you're actually mentally scheduling in times for you to take a step back from whatever you're doing and fully relax. And what I mean by breaks is not just stopping what you're doing and being stressed about your situation, because that is not helpful and that is not productive. All you're doing is being stressed without getting anything done. Trust me, I've been there. That was my entire university career. Make sure that if you're going to set aside time for breaks, it's actually going to be a time where you take a mental break. You're no longer thinking about the project that you have going on. You're not thinking about the deadline that's coming up. You're not thinking about the interview that you have tomorrow. You are literally pretending that everything is all fine and dandy and that you are not going through a stressful situation. So now you're like, Sam, how can I possibly shut off that part of my brain? Let me tell you the things that I like to do to signal to my brain that we are no longer stressing about the situation and we are taking a slight pause. A, if you have a diffuser, turn that bad boy on. You know, at Sage or any diffuser store really, they have things that say like positivity or refreshing or sunshine or happiness. Yeah, put those drops in right now and sniff that air up, because the best way to feel productive and relaxed is to inhale something that rejuvenates the mind and cleanses your space. So make sure you turn that on. And if you don't have a diffuser, go order one off Amazon because you need it. It changed my life. Another thing I like to do is pour myself a cup of tea, sip on it, try to remember the articles that I read on why tea is good for you so that I feel positive about what I'm putting into my body. Drink that, feel good, and you're done. Then there's things like taking a hot bath, feeling really clean about yourself, putting on a face mask, pampering the living hell out of yourself. Do whatever it takes to signal to your mind that you are actively trying to relax yourself and that you are not thinking about your situation. Another thing to note is that stress usually builds up physically as well. So if you're sitting at a desk and you're working on something and you decide to take a little break, even if it's just for a second, make sure you're taking some deep breaths, rolling your shoulders back, maybe doing some stretches, unclenching your jaw, maybe even toss a smile at yourself. Anything to release that tension that has been building up over time as you've been trying to get shit done. That's what I like to do for the times that I set aside for breaks. Now let's talk about what I like to do to make sure that my sleep is as optimal as possible. For me, a good relaxing sleep means that I got in a sufficient number of hours of sleep and that my sleep wasn't interrupted, meaning that I wasn't tossing or turning or waking up in the middle of the night, or I wasn't having a very light, shallow sleep. For a long time, especially during university, I was not having a very good time with sleep. You're pretty much sleep deprived all the time because you're up studying late at night, and I found it was really hard to sleep in guilt-free or even have like a nice deep sleep, you know, the ones where you just wake up and you're like, did I just die? Holy shit. But recently I've been finding ways that I can actually control how well I sleep. First things first, turn that diffuser back on, baby. This time, instead of the positivity, ray of sunshine, rainbows, all that stuff, you want to put on the ones that say relaxation or deep sleep or cloud 9, whatever. Just put on the ones that cause you to relax and go into a state of comatose. Put those drops in and turn that on. Sniff that shit up. I find it so much easier to sleep when I have a relaxing scent on, maybe some lavender, whatever. I'm not an expert on scents. It makes my room feel really clean, very light, and it just just sets the tone for having a good night's sleep. Then what I've been using recently is Insight Timer. It's a free app that you can get on your phone, and it has a shit ton of guided meditations. I'll put my screen up here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Go into the sleep section and you'll scroll down and see all the different types of guided meditation videos that there are. There's different lengths, different people, different types, all that stuff. My favorite one to listen to, and the one that I pretty much solely listen to, is the one by Kate James. It's called like Relaxing into Peaceful Sleep. Honestly, I have no idea what it's called. It's something like that. I'll put it on the screen. Anyways, I found that putting on a guided meditation, A, helps me to get to sleep faster, and B, makes it so that I am in such a relaxed state that I'm not tossing and turning. I'm having a very long and steady sleep. I'm not waking up in the middle of the night, and I feel like that has made such a big difference in my energy level and my relaxation level the next day. There's other apps too, like Headspace. I'm sure you could even find them on YouTube, but Insight Timer is the one that I use because it's free, and well, I like free. Other things that you can do to make sure that you're taking advantage of your sleep time break is to put on Do Not Disturb on your phone so that it's not waking you up in the middle of the night, making sure that you've hydrated yourself before you go to sleep so that you don't wake up having to drink a lot of water, making sure that you peed beforehand so you don't have to wake up having to pee. All these things. Did those last two kind of contradict each other? Maybe. Sorry. Now let's talk about the ways that we actually think and receive stressful situations, because I think that this is just as important as finding ways to relax, because at the end of the day, you're always going to have situations that stress you out, and as much as you can try to relax yourself, sometimes you just need to embrace the stress, and sometimes the stress can even be good for you. And before you're like, whoa Sam, how is stress good for you? I'm pretty sure if you're stressed out too much, it lowers your immune system and you can cause all this bodily harm. Yes, I totally understand that for sure, but I think that there is a healthy level of stress, because in my opinion and in my experience, stress is what gets shit done. Imagine a time where you're writing a paper or you're procrastinating, you're trying to get this big project done, and you're feeling super stressed. I don't know about you, but when I'm super stressed, that's when I'm almost the most productive, and that's when I can work the fastest and the most efficiently. Yes, there are going to be times where stress overcomes you and you have a mental breakdown and everything just falls down around you, but if you can use some of the relaxation techniques and manage your stress in a way where you still feel it, but rather than letting it take over your entire life, you're actually using it and channeling it in the direction of making you more productive and efficient, it's actually a really beneficial thing for getting shit done. I also think it's really important to recognize that if you're stressed about a situation, it's because you care. And for me, recognizing that you care about a situation is such a nice reminder that there are things that you want to work towards, things that you want to achieve, things that you want a good outcome out of. If you're not stressed about anything, it either means that you're living in la la land, or there's nothing that you're working towards or care about. And this may just be me, but I would like to have something to care about. So if you are stressed about a situation, maybe just take a second to remind yourself that you're stressed because you want to do well, and let that positive voice guide you to be more productive and more efficient. And for any of you that are stressed out about deadlines or a big interview or anything that's time sensitive or upcoming, one thing that I found when I was going through university is to constantly remind yourself that you always survive it. Why is it that we keep getting so stressed out about things, knowing that we've probably either gone through worse or gone through a similar situation and have completely survived it? For some reason, when we come up to our next stressful situation, we forget that we've accomplished so much in the past and lose faith in our ability to conquer the next task. If you just take a second to remind yourself that you survived this, you got through this, you did this, you accomplished this, it'll give you enough confidence to feel sure about yourself, to relax yourself just a smidgen and get whatever you need to get done. Doesn't mean you're going to be successful every time. No, 100% not. I'm not saying that you're going to excel every single time that you're stressed just because you did in your past. What I'm trying to say is that you'll get over it, and regardless of the outcome, you will survive. You'll either learn from it, you'll forget about it, and you'll move on and continue your life, because that's the way it works, baby. Honestly, there were other things that I wanted to talk about in this video, but this one's getting a little long, so maybe I'll make another video about taking on too much or saying yes to everything or being a people pleaser and all this stuff. I'll put that into a separate video, so if you want to see that, feel free to like this video and comment and subscribe if you want. And I hope this helped any of you stressed out people out there, because you deserve to be as relaxed as possible. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye!